Welcome back to the channel. I enter vids, and this is my round 4 NRL tips for 2024, and this is the Easter weekend too. So if you're someone that's going to have the 4 weeks off, Friday to Monday, then yeah, how good, because I know the feeling of it. But yeah, it's going to be a good round of footy, I feel like. You know, long weekend, Easter weekend, got the Good Friday game, the traditional Good Friday game, Bulldogs and their Rabbitohs at a core stadium. After they got Broncos, Cowboys, a very good game as always. Both sides always play to their best, you'd hope anyway, in these sort of games. Hasn't been like that as of recently, but I know both teams, when Broncos and Cowboys are both on, it's a good game. And then Easter Monday, also the traditional game, Tigers and the Eels. So, you know, these are games I'm always looking forward to, actually. They're always games that I get pretty excited about. And yeah, it should be a good weekend in general, so I'm really keen for the footy ahead. But as always, like this video, and if you are a new viewer to this YouTube channel, please be sure to subscribe as well. You know, obviously my goal is to get to 4,050 subscribers. That is currently the channel goal, so would like to hope that goal is fulfilled soon. And yeah, hopefully if you enjoy the content, do subscribe if you haven't already. But without further ado, let's get into my tips. Right, on to the very first game. It is the Roosters taking on the Penrith Panthers at Allianz Stadium, and this will be a great game, I feel like. Always these sides have great contests normally, and I think Panthers have had the better sort of run of wins against the Roosters in recent times. But the Roosters this year so far look like a more completed side. Their hype that they've been always getting seems to be paying off in the field this time around this year. And yeah, the start of the year off 2-1, 2 wins, 1 loss, but could make it 3 wins, 1 loss if they do get the win on Thursday. But the Panthers do have Nathan Cleary out, so that will always be a pretty tough ask for them to go to Allianz away and without their main half. So Brad Schneider comes in for Nathan Cleary, I believe. And yeah, it looks like Fisher Harris is also back for Penrith too, and Maverick Guy will make his NRL debut off the bench too. And yeah, the Roosters obviously seem to be 1 through 17. Most the team seems to be just normal, as it always is. But it seems like that Luke Keary's back and Sandon Smith's out, so that's the only change to the Roosters that I can sort of take note on. But my tip for this game, I'm going to tip the Panthers here 1-12. I think Penrith will be too good. Roosters might win, and I wouldn't be shocked if they did, but I think Penrith will have enough in that team to get the job done. So I'll go the Panthers by 4, 24-20, high scoring game. First try scorer, Scott Sorensen. Alright, on to the very next game now, the traditional Good Friday game. It is the Rabbitohs taking the Bulldogs at a core stadium. And yeah, these games are always hyped up to be something good. I know recently the Rabbitohs have always been beating the Bulldogs on the Good Friday fixture normally, and by 13 plus as well. So I'm wary that Rabbitohs might be up for this game after 3 straight losses at the start of the year. And it might be a game where they finally turn up and finally get a result for themselves, you know. We'll have to wait and see. And as for the Bulldogs, well, the Bulldogs finally got a win last week against the struggling Titans at Belmore, 32-0, and that was a very important win for the Bulldogs because they had to win somehow, and they finally did. So I think the Bulldogs getting the win was probably something that was really important to them. And yeah, no, I think it was a good way to bounce back for them. So Bulldogs should have some confidence coming into this game. Now, my tip for this game, I reckon the Bulldogs will get the win too. I think Dogs might get the job done. Souths to me have too much issues. I backed the Rabbitohs against the Roosters last Friday because I felt like I'll be up for this game because it's their rivals. And normally the Rabbitohs are up for those sort of games against the Roosters and would go toe to toe with them. But again, I just feel like there's just too many, I don't know, too many uneven, too many concerns with the Rabbitohs at the moment. So I think Bulldogs might continue their winning form with an 8-point win. I think a high-scoring game might occur, actually. I'm going to go the Bulldogs, 30 points to 22. I think Dogs will score a few tries, believe it or not. And I think the Rabbitohs will, unfortunately for them, go on 4 start the year, but we'll see what happens. But Dogs by 8, and first try scorer Blake Wilson. Now, the big game on the Friday too, probably the better game out of the 2 games. It is the Broncos taking on the Cowboys at Suncorp Stadium. And yeah, this is another game that I believe will go down to the wire, potentially too. The Broncos still have no Payne Haas, and their front rowers are Corey Jensen and Fletcher Baker, which I don't like at all. And Brendan Piacura is out with Jane Hunt in the back row, which, yeah, their 4-pack looks as weak as ever. and Reece Walsh is out as well. So yeah, it doesn't help them losing him too. And the Cowboys, to me, have just been playing so well at the moment. The Cowboys are finding their mojo again. They're a big, fast, fit, strong team, and I can only see that continuing this Friday. So I've gone with the Cowboys to beat their rivals, I guess you could say. Not a big rivalry anymore, in my opinion, but definitely a very competitive game between the two. So I'll go the Cowboys to win. Cowboys win also by 8, 24-16. First try scorer, going to back in, I think an outside back will score, Scott Drinkwater. Now, the very first game on Saturday, it is at the Gong, and that's the Dragons taking on my boys, the Sea Eagles, and yeah, this is always going to be a very close game. Now, look, I know Manly probably are looking a lot better than the Dragons so far this year, I get that, but whenever we go to Wollongong and whenever we play the Dragons, it seems to be either they win or it's a very close game. It's never 13 plus. The last time Manly beat the Dragons 13 plus was probably back in 2021 or 2019, I think. So one of those 2 years. So it's been a fair bit, it's been a fair while. And the Dragons are always up for us for whatever reason. So I'm definitely going to be wary of them. And hopefully the boys on Saturday are too. The Dragons made a couple of changes from what I saw. Jack DeBell onto the bench. Frankie Molo and Laurie are their starting props. And I think Jacob Little's back as well. And I think Sewer, I didn't see Sewer there. I think their back rows are... Oh, actually, Sewer is back, I believe. And Leilua is the other back rower, with Tom Eisenhuth for lock. And then RFM and Halme Sele, both of them off the bench. And yeah, Dragons obviously made some changes to their team for the better, so we'll see how they go. As for Manly, our team's the same as last week until our loss to the Eels. Very close loss though. And I can't complain personally. I think this team named from last week, can still get the job done this week, I feel like. So hopefully that's the case. And in my opinion, I think it will be. I think Manly will be up for the game this Saturday. I think after losing to the Eels very controversially, I think the boys will be very hungry to get the job done this time around and hopefully get another win to start our, I guess, good start to the year. So I'll go Manly by 10, I feel like. I think we'll win by 10. I'll go Manly 26 points to 16. First try scorer, Tolu Kola. Alright, on to the very last game of Super Saturday. It is the Titans taking on the Dolphins, and this game has been played at Seaview Super Stadium in the Gold Coast. And for whatever reason, the Titans so far this year, their attack looks terrible. It looks absolutely shocking. Despite having Kieran Foran return to the team last week, where I thought, yes, Foran's back, Titans might click now because that's their main half. But Titans managed to score 0 still, 0. Absolutely nothing. I don't know how the Titans continue to not show enough in attack, despite having their main half back. Tanner Boyd and Kieran Foran need to get that combination going, and Des Hasler needs to make some changes, which it feels like he hasn't, because he hasn't for this game for whatever reason. But the only change that's there is that Jane Campbell's back for the Titans, so Keanu Kinney's out and Campbell starts at fullback. It will help, I reckon. It will help, but I think Dolphins will be too strong. I think Dolphins, after that win against the Dragons the week before in Redcliffe, 38-0 was huge. Hamiso went on a roll. Jake Averillo was a big welcome addition to that team. Overall, I think the Dolphins have a bit more confidence and a bit more attacking them compared to the Titans. I just think from what I've seen from the Titans so far, it's not enough to convince me that they can go toe-to-toe with the Dolphins, who are known for their attack when they're on. So I'll go the Dolphins win by about 8 points. I'll go Dolphins 28-20. I feel like a few points will be scored. And first try scorer, in my opinion, I think Titans will score first with Philip Sami, but Dolphins are too good. They'll win by 8. Now, the very first game of Sunday, it is the Warriors taking on the Knights at Mount Smart Stadium, or, yeah, I guess Mount Smart's always been the name I've called it, but it's Go Media Stadium now. And, yeah, this will be a very interesting game, I feel like. I think both these sides... Well, the Knights won last week against the Storm, but struggled to actually contain the Storm without Munster and Hughes, and I don't know how the Knights did not win by a bit more in Newcastle too. They dropped Hastings, which I feel like might have been the right call, but I don't think it was. I think Gamble's the main half I should have dropped. But anyway, Cogger did enough to get the Knights to win. But I just feel like that the Knights just didn't really inspire anyone, including myself. Knights obviously got the win, and that's a good thing for them. But it's not a win you take a lot of confidence out of. A win's a win, but they should have won by a lot more because the Storm had no Munster and Hughes. That's their best halves they've got. So I don't know how Knights, with mainly a full-strength team, just couldn't, shut out the Storm completely. So yeah, it's a real testament to how good the Storm actually are. But in this game, though, I think the Warriors back at New Zealand, Tuivasa-Sheck at fullback, and if his centre forms anything to go off by, then Tuivasa-Sheck at fullback will go absolutely berserk on Sunday. So Warriors 13 plus, they're my specials of the round. I think Warriors will win really well, and yeah, the Warriors will get the job done over the night. I've gone with the Warriors to win 38 points to 10. 38 to 10. I think they'll be way too good for the Knights. And first try scorer, backing Rocco Berry first try, but Knights to win. Sorry, Warriors to win 13 plus, 38 to 10. Now the last game of Sunday, it is the Sharks take on the Raiders at PointsBet Stadium in Cronulla. And it's funny because Sharks were looking okay in the opening 2 rounds, but they got badly exposed by the West Tigers at Leichhardt Oval, and it's a real shock to me because the Sharks have a lot better team on paper compared to the Tigers, but Tigers just came up with more heart and wanted it more in the end, I guess. And the Sharks, just, for whatever reason, did not seem to click against Canberra. Why? I don't know, but yeah, they should have definitely done a lot more in that game, the Sharks. As for Canberra, well, the Canberra Raiders are really impressive in my opinion. They started the year 2-0 and beat both Newcastle and the West Tigers back-to-back weeks. And obviously they're wins that you don't really, I guess, take a lot out of because both those teams, in all due respect, aren't premiership contenders in my opinion. But you can tell there's a difference in the Raiders this year. They look a bit more fitter, look more stronger and focused. And you can say that's because they got an easy draw, but they went toe-to-toe with the Warriors too, who they lost to just in New Zealand or in Christchurch. But the Raiders could have easily won that game, but I guess, and people were saying they were robbed, but I mean, that's each their own if they were robbed or not, the Raiders against the Warriors. But you can tell Canberra are a lot more stronger and actually are playing with a lot of confidence at the moment. If it lasts, I guess that's the main question, but they look good, Canberra. They're sort of surprising people. And I think they will keep continuing that good sort of start to the year come Sunday. I think Sharks have a few forwards out from what I saw. Talakai in the back row, yes, it's a position that I think has to happen because Talakai in the centres is wearing off a bit, but they're losing a couple more forwards from what I remember. I think Finucane might be out too, can't remember, but I saw that Sharks have a bit of injuries in the middle. I think Canberra's middle is very strong. That's a big, strong part of their team. So I'll go Canberra to win. Canberra by 12. I think they'll be way too good. I just think that the Sharks, without those sort of key members in their forwards, will lose that 4-pack battle to Canberra. And Canberra have a great record against the Sharks too. So I think Canberra by 12. First try scorer, Sione Katoa for the Sharks. And on to the very last game that closes out round 4. It's Easter Monday. It is the Parramatta Eels taking on the West Tigers at CommBank Stadium. And these sort of games are always... You know what I've noticed about these games? They've always had some controversy and they're normally pretty tight games. The Tigers do often turn up against the Eels on Easter Monday, I've noticed. Go back to 2022 where the Tigers actually upset the Eels out of nowhere at CommBank 2 in 22. Eels have in the past won more games against the Tigers than Tigers have beaten them, but Tigers have always given the Eels a game, so I'm expecting it to be the same case too. And yes, it should be the case too, because the way Tigers looked against the Sharks was very good. They looked really strong there. And yeah, look, Tigers can take a lot of positives out of that game against the Sharks. They looked really eager and strong, and yeah, they'll bring that same mentality to the Eels side on Monday too. And as for Parramatta, yeah, look, losing Mitchell Moses is a big blow. So Blades Lungi to 5'8", and Dylan Brown halfback, which I can't believe. But anyway, that's that. And yeah, it's a big out. Bryce Cartwright's in doubt to play too. So yeah, they could be losing Bryce Cartwright as well. But yeah, look, my tip for this game, I am going to tip an upset. I think Tigers might get the job done here. Call me crazy, but Moses is a big out for the Eels, and I think losing Moses is a big out for Parramatta. And just how the Tigers looked against the Sharks, you know, if the Tigers can do that to the Sharks, then there's no reason why they can go toe-to-toe and go all the way against the Parramatta too. So I think they'll win. So Tigers to win by 4. I'll go Tigers 18-14. A very close game, very defensive tight game. First try scorer, Justin Olam. But that there's my round 4 NRL tips for 2024. Thank you all for watching. You know, I'm keen for the round itself, but I'm just a bit more keen for having a long weekend off too. It's going to be great having 4 days off, so pretty happy about that. But other than that, enjoy your long weekend, everyone. And yeah, hopefully it's a good result for your team this weekend, especially if you're a Manly fan. But we'll see what happens. But thank you for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I'll see you all next Tuesday for round 5 tips.